Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I'm just going to be doing a second part to the yields distribution model we have with SkuxxVerse and our token holders. So, as you guys know, February is just going to be a huge month for us. Staking has officially been audited and cleared to go by NFT Worlds, releasing in the next 24 hours. Um, so yeah, that's going to be starting our our roadmap as per we planned for, and we're going to be staking all of our NFT worlds immediately, all 7 of them. That being said, one thing we're going to do actually is talk to our lords, prince, and kings, which is, as you guys could see, the 5+ holders, the 10+ holders, and the 25+ holders. Which we don't have a king yet. People are getting close. However, we're going to be talking to them about, and I'll let you guys that are just either in the public or token holders below 5, I'll let you guys know what we're talking about. Is there's going to be a 1 day a month permanent locked in day where we do our airdrops. But the fact that we're into the 9th of February right now makes our initial plan to do our 19th of February airdrop a little bit, it can still happen, it just makes it a little bit less potent than what we want our monthly airdrops to look like, because it obviously will only have been 10 days, perhaps 9 days of staking dividends. So I'm going to talk, and potentially if the community is on board with it, us just starting from exactly a month from when the staking goes live, so that we can, and then locking that day in every month, so that we can kind of launch this the right way in some regard, like gas fees and stuff to get from World to Ethereum, if that's what you choose to do, will be a little bit make that 10-day yield a lot less potent than what we could do with our monthly plan to start with. And yeah, if we do end up just everybody says no, we want World immediately 10 days from now, don't care if what that number looks like, we'll do that, and then we'll just do a month from that day, so on and so forth. But something I'm going to talk about with the Lords of Kings nonetheless. And next I'm going to jump straight into a chart that I want to show you guys, and it's basically a breakdown, as simple as it gets, of where yields go, how the ecosystem looks. Because I get a question today and yesterday actually saying, like, how does it work for everybody? Like, how does it make sure that there's a good cycle of economy going around, and making sure that we're not cutting any corners, and that we're not going to find a big sudden war? And that's a great question. So here it is, a breakdown. I'll bring myself back in the screen. Not sure if I was in there a second ago, but here it is. We'll start off at the top here. SkuxxVerse Ecosystem. The February lump sum from holding these NFT worlds. Initially, I held 4 or 3.5, and then went halves with the community wallet to buy a 4th, and put all of these into the NFT, or into our SkuxxVerse community wallet. So I personally have put in 3.5 NFT worlds to stimulate the initial staking yields that we'll talk about in a second. However, the February lump sum is going to be sent to we're going to hire a second wave of staff, and overhead expenses. They kind of coexist, but for particular developers that we want to build with our other NFT worlds, I want to have a software developer. Well, we do have a software developer currently always on hand, but I want to have, a Minecraft developer that we can have always on hand to just do daily updates. And as we grow as a community and want to see changes immediately, that's one of these guys that is going into this budget here. Overhead expenses, the list goes on. Before we started the project, before a single sale, as well as putting my 3.5 NFT worlds into the community wallet, I also just took on the expenses of developing SkuxxVerse. Verified builders, not cutting any corners, because I wanted it to be unique to and you guys to see the authenticity as we even got started. So this is what the lump sum is going to be taken care of for a long time, is getting the right people we need in place to keep progressing as a project and soon to be a company. We don't, I kind of mentioned this earlier, I wore a lot of hats when this project got started. Not only did I invest a lot of capital, I also was our marketer. I also was our promoter for the most part. I created the Discord. I've had help here and there, but not trying to be like, not trying to say that I was Superman by any means. Like, you can see there was areas where I struggled, especially with some of the graphic design and stuff, which was irrelevant to our product, so it didn't matter at the time. It was irrelevant to our, like, the utility that we were including with the NFT. So I took it on and saved us money that we could compound and put back into the community wallets. Hence why we're at 7 NFT worlds, which, if you run the numbers on ours, we've got over $150,000 worth of real estate. Yet we're only just, I think we've just cracked 100,000 in sales. So we're well over, in terms of capital in the community wallet, we're well over what is actually come from sales. So that's great, right? That's how I wanted this project to get off the ground, was knowing that it's not something that you need to rely on everybody else. You need to actually make these moves yourself as a founder. So I did these things. And so there we go, is with the February airdrop, and then 50% of secondary sales. That's a while down the road. That's going to be when we mint out the 777 tokens that we have. We're at almost 500 now. I always knew that it was going to be a rolling mint. I designed it that way. The business model is scalable so that we can reward our initial early adopters even more so than we would had we been completely sold out. Just with the way things have worked so far, and that's going to be 50% of those sales from the royalties is basically 8% of every transaction in the secondary market comes back to us, but we're taking 50% to cover our overhead expenses and staff and new waves of staff, because we're going to be constantly hiring new software engineers. The guys I have on board now, they're the day one. They're like if you shout out to DP, who you'll see in the Discord there, my current software developer, we're gonna keep these guys on board, and like they need to have their bills paid. So this is where some of our royalties will hire and keep guys to progress SkuxxVerse as a whole. And then the other I guess 4%. So 8% of these sales is considered a royalty. 4% is going of those royalties to my staff and overhead expenses. 4% is going to SkuxxVerse token holders. It's at the bottom there, as you can probably see too. That's pretty much it for how I cover it on terms of making sure SkuxxVerse is taken care of, and that we have the right people in place, and we're not cutting corners and trying to be cheap in any areas. Like, I want the very best. Like, we've got because I'm willing to sacrifice in areas of my own capital to start with. It does put us in this position to be able to hire the best and not at all take a loss, or like the way that we will progress from getting these experts inside of our team is going to far outweigh the expenses that they cost. That's just plain and simple. Now let's talk about you as token holders. For God's sakes, it's been 8 minutes. Look, you guys get the staking yields 100% from the community wallet. Everything's in the community wallet right now in terms of NFT worlds. And you guys will get 100% of staking yields from that, 100% of the renting yields. Now this is going to be available right away as soon as staking comes out, but I believe the strength of renting yields will be later on, maybe in March, when we're seeing the floor rise. And that's what's perfect for renting yields, is the floor is getting out of reach. It's just the way it's going. So I'm reading this from a business standpoint. It's not that I am glad that people aren't able to buy NFT worlds. I think I would love if there was more unique wallets with people that had experience, right? But fact of the matter is that they're not going to be able to afford it, so they're going to have to rent it, and that's going to add strength to the renting yields market that goes 100% sent back to you guys. The play to earn structure, so SkuxxVerse, the actual metaverse that we've developed on NFT worlds, as we open, we're going to have in-game economy with in-game items that can be purchased, as well as, so I'm talking about both play to earn and in-game transactions here, but as well as that, there's going to be play to versus player events that are going to result in world airdrops for winners. So for example, a 5 versus 5 gladiator duel, the winning 5 if they, and then this is where the tokens come into play. So blue versus red 5v5, blue wins, each member gets dropped X amount of world tokens as the winner. And then of course any items that get brought inside of SkuxxVerse. So perhaps there's a pickaxe available for 10 world token, which equivalates to $3 US. Those kind of transactions will be sent 100% back to our SkuxxVerse token holders. And then I've talked about 50% of the 8% royalty that we receive is getting sent back to the SkuxxVerse token holders. So I hope this gives you guys a more realistic idea, and no, I shouldn't say more realistic. I hope this exceeds your expectations in areas, but also gives you an understanding of how this actually works. Like, I'm not out here making false promises or planning to under-deliver on anything. So I want you guys to see it from exactly like a dissected version of this, and I hope that is pretty straightforward for you guys. Any questions, I'm always around on the Discord. You'll see onboarding some new moderators, which will be, they've been sort of educated to be able to answer your questions too, and then they themselves have come up with ideas that are going to help SkuxxVerse, and so they're going to be able to implement those. And as far as that, I'll have another podcast in the next couple of days for you guys, but I just wanted to roll this one out real quick, and I hope you enjoyed it. Cheers, guys.